It's about 3 years since non-duality stole my heart, and everything in my human life was sort of seen as unimportant. Do you have any suggestions how to navigate a decision? I'm currently careerless, completely dependent on my boyfriend money-wise. Thank you so much. That's really beautiful that non-duality stole your heart. It's the most amazing subject. In the end, nothing really matters. So whatever career you pick, it doesn't really matter. I remember saying that once about identity, and it created such a outrage. People were really outraged that I said it doesn't really matter. In one way, it matters, and we can go into that to setting the wants, but in one way it doesn't really matter. What really matters is presence. What you are, which is right now. That's what really matters. And I suspect that if you have a career, I was going to say it could be nice to have one where there's like-minded people, but that's simply a pleasure. And when you really see that pleasure and pain aren't dependent on what you're doing, then it doesn't really matter. In the end, a wise thing to do would be to follow your flow. So go in the direction in which your body is naturally orientated. So if you're good with your hands and you enjoy doing woodwork, then that would be a suggestion. And your body's gonna have tendencies as what it's better at. So I would say that my body has a tendency towards teaching and towards storytelling. I write stories as well, and that's my tendency, and that I've managed to, it's not really me, it happened really. I say me, but I never planned this, I can assure you, but I've managed to carve a way out in which I can do both of these things, like teaching and storytelling. And that's immensely satisfying and beautiful, but it also can at times be painful. And that's the nature of life. Even if you find the most heavenly job or career path, it will have painful sides, because it's the nature of the way things move that they can be painful and pleasurable. And sometimes hearing people's suffering can be painful. So when I'm teaching, hearing people's suffering, there can be other elements to it. People can get very angry with me as a teacher. And then also sometimes when I'm writing, you have to really push through some of the creative blocks. You can easily procrastinate when you're a writer, and you have to keep presenting the page to yourself. So you have to keep presenting it. A old friend of mine used to say is when you have constipation, you just keep presenting yourself to the toilet. And it's the same with writing. When you have writing constipation, you keep presenting yourself to page and just kind of sit there until it begins to come. There's other things you can do as well to get it going. So these things can be painful, and it's the same whatever you imagine. If you imagine yourself to be a canoe instructor, there's going to be pleasure and pain with that. It might be painful if you're doing that in the winter time, or it might be painful because you can't get much work in the winter time. It's just the nature of life. But when you know really deeply that your happiness is always in this moment, that your happiness is always that which is experiencing, which is absolute mystery, then the forms in life can't take away from you. It simply forms, and you're not trying to get somewhere. You're not trying to be something. Like what you are is enough. I hope that helps. I mean, like also you can book these sessions with people. You can book session with me, but you can also book sessions with people that do like law of attraction or something, and they help you focus in on what it is you want and then like manifest that. Like I do believe that you can manifest. It's just not you that's doing it. Like that manifestation process either happens or not. But if you like focus on what you want and keep focusing on it, then I believe that it will begin to appear. But again, that's not you that's doing it. It's something that happens. And they might not talk about non-duality, these coaches, but at least they will help you find what it is that you want to do. If that's appropriate. So when you are in that situation, just another good thing about doing session with someone and speaking out with someone is not letting your procrastination be a manifestation of your fear of creating. Like so on the human level, like sometimes not creating a job or not doing these things can also be a fear of society, a fear of humanity, a fear of producing, a fear of being your best self. So working with someone one-to-one can help reflect that back to you. So you can see what's lurking there.